So I spent a fair amount of time just kind of staring at the galley on the teardrop, trying to figure out how to do the cabinets. Part of the problem is that I was running into is since the teardrop has the back swoops down pretty sharply here. It's just the design that I wanted. Um, that doesn't give me a lot of height for the cabinets, and so I couldn't figure out how to do that. So I did come up with a solution. So I'll show you what I did. Okay, so what I did is I built some cabinets in here. Right now I'm not going to build in cabinets, drawers, and things like that because we're not quite sure what we want and where we want to put things. So my wife suggested we'll just use some of these plastic drawers and things like that just temporarily until we figure out, after we've camped it a couple times, till we figure out what we want. But as you can see, with the countertop right here, it's going to be quite a reach to get to any of that. So what I did is I mounted it on sliders. That'll slide out and lock, and it brings everything out here. I'm also not putting any built-in plumbing into the teardrop, trying to keep it pretty simple. So I'm using one of these 7-gallon aquatainers. It's got a spigot on it. And I built a box. It goes in there. And put the timer on here. And then I've got these little thumb screws that go on the box. And then I took this, and I also put this on a slider, and I'm going to have a handle here. And then this will slide out to here. I've got a little, you can see I've got a little surface-mounted bolt that goes down there, and that locks it in position. And then I can put a dish pan here on the countertop, get my water, and then when I'm ready to travel, just open the bolt up, slide everything back, lock the bolt down. This side will be locked down, and then my hatch will cover and close over all of the cabinets. So that's my solution. There may be other ways to do it, but that's what I came up with, and I think it's going to work okay. Okay, alright, so one of the next things I'm going to do here is I'm going to start working on the countertop and this tail section here. So the first thing is this is going to be the level of my countertop, and so the hatch comes down, and this will be the hatch seal. So I've just got a piece of 1x3, that really nice pine that I was able to find, and then I have a 1x2 underneath it. And so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to cut these so they follow the contour of the side, and then there'll be a couple of other 1x2s in here. And on the bottom, I've taken a 1x2. I've already cut it to shape, and also taken a plane and whatnot and rounded it a little bit, and so that'll just glue up and screw into the floor like that. Okay, so I've got these all cut. So I've got my angles cut. I got the angle cut on this one. I also have it temporarily in place. I went ahead and drilled and countersunk some screws that'll go in it. There's also going to be some screws along the top. And so now I'm going to glue these together. And I think the best way to do that is while they're in place. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on here. I'm not going to get too close to the edges here because I am going to pull the whole assembly out and then glue it to the sides as well. just want to glue these together. Okay. So this just fits in here like that. Line up my marks, and I'll just screw the edges in. Screw the ends in just to hold it in place. Okay, now, then I have some more screws to screw this down. Actually, I'm going to switch to a power drill. Okay. Alright, so we'll let that set up overnight, and come back and we'll do some more. So this is what it looks like. You can see, so I want this to be really solid, and once I get the sheathing on the outside and get a couple more braces in here, I think it will be. So this will be really solid. This is where the hatch seals down in the back. Alright, so I've got the top support for the tail section all glued in and whatnot, and you can see where I put some holes here and to screw these things together. I glued this up, and then used just some regular tight bond right here, because this is going to be on the inside, and these are screws that are going into the ends here. So that should be pretty sturdy. I did that on both ends. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bottom one on, and this one I'm going to use PL Premium, just my construction adhesive, to do that. Put that on. I've pre-drilled some screws for some screws here on the ends, and also put one here in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and get that glued up and attached. Okay, so the first place I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue up in the corners here. Get that real well. Make sure that I get these really well here. And then I'll put some glue on the back of this. For this case, I'm going to make sure I get plenty of glue on here, because not only is it gluing it on there, but it's helping to waterproof it as well. So I want good squeeze out everywhere. I got that started. That just holds it in position. I'll go after it with the screw gun. Get them good and tight. You can see it's squeezing out pretty much everywhere, which is what I wanted. And I'll just take a putty knife and clean that up, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, sitting here inside the teardrop, and one of the things that I've been thinking about is I probably need to put some kind of a center support here in this cabinet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a center stile in here. And what I'll do is I'm going to glue that in and put a screw or two in it as well, just to keep this from sagging when it's got, you know, clothes and stuff in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I wanted to make sure I got that screw up there high enough so it didn't go up into the tracks here. Okay. Sand that down just a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and put the screw in. All right. Got the got a screw partially set in there, so I'm just going to put a dab of glue on there too. Not going to be real persnickety about it, but all right. And put a little glue on the bottom as well. So as you can see, that just gives me a little extra support. So what I'll do is I'm going to put some, so what I'll do is I'll put some screws up through the bottom here as well. Alrighty then. So that put that center stile in, and when I put the cabinet faces in, that should be all hidden. So, all right, very good.